Today we shall discuss on electrochemistry. Second year PUC, third chapter in the physical chemistry part, electrochemistry. For entrance examination, so this is also very important and most essential chapter. You are going to expect 3 questions once again from electrochemistry in CET, and at least 1 question for the NEET exams and JEE exams, and even it is related to other chapters, especially redox reactions and stoichiometry. See, what are all the synopsis part we have to discuss under this? See, there are 2 concepts under electrochemistry. One is the concept of galvanic cells, where a spontaneous chemical reaction generates EMF, and another one is the electrolytic cells, and conduction aspects. Electrolytic cells and conduction aspects. So these are the 2 parts what we are going to discuss. And listen here. So under galvanic cells, so basically you are learning the Nernst equation and its related equations and problems to calculate EMF. Okay. So now look here. Your actual electrochemistry starts with the Daniell cell, right? Daniell cell, where zinc in contact with the zinc sulfate and salt bring copper sulfate copper. See, the reaction at anode, left hand side is anode, right hand side is cathode. Anode always undergoes oxidation, cathode always undergoes reduction. So you have to separately write the anodic and cathodic reaction, balance the electrons, write the overall reaction by adding the equations. So EMF of the cell you can calculate by the equation. E of cell is E naught of the cathode, that is E of cell is E of electrode potential of cathode, that is copper 2 plus minus electrode potential of zinc, E of cathode minus E of anode. Right hand side electrode is cathode, and cathode always undergoes reduction. So it is not that which is cathode and which is anode. One which undergoes oxidation is anode, and one which undergoes reduction is cathode, and which has to be anode, which has to be cathode. For that, the electrochemical series is there, correct now? Based on the SRP values. For example, it starts with the lithium in contact with the lithium ion minus 3.05 volt 2. So the value starts increasing till you reach fluoride of F2 to F minus. So where it is plus 2.85 volt. So this is how. So above 1 is naturally acting as anode, and below 1, which is more positive, will be cathode, right? And more negative will be anode. That is what. If both are negative, more negative is anode, less negative is cathode. Both are positive, less positive is anode, more positive is cathode. So one negative, one positive SRP values, positive one will be cathode and negative one will be anode. So therefore that you have to know some of the electrochemical series, some of the members of the electrochemical series. So the overall equation you can write here. Zinc is undergoing oxidation and copper 2 plus 3 is undergoing reduction. Write separate equation, that and all you know. the synopsis. I don't want to cover all those things. So this is going to become Cu, copper. So zinc has undergone oxidation and copper ion has undergone reduction. So this is the equation to calculate E of cell equal to electrode potential of copper electrode and electrode potential of zinc electrode. Now how to write the electrode potential from Nernst equation for any electrode? For any electrode, M raised to n plus metal in quantity with metal ion. So the electrode potential is, for example, for this electrode, E of m raised to n plus E naught. It's a standard electrode potential minus at 298 Kelvin 0.0591 by n is number of electron lost or gain log of 1 by molar concentration of its ion. This is the equation, and this is the equation for calculating electrode potential, single electrode potential. Look here, for hydrogen what do you write? For example, if I write it for hydrogen electrode is what? Over the platinum foil, hydrogen gas has been adsorbed at 1 bar pressure, and that is in contact with the hydrogen ion, which is 1. For this what do you write? E of half H2H plus is equal to E naught of half H2H plus minus 0.0591 by 1, because H plus 1 electron becoming half H2. This is the equation. So number of electrons lost or gained is 1 log of 1 by H plus to the distance. So this can be written as 0. Standard hydrogen electrode potential is 0. So that means 0 minus, see, 0.0591 into log of 1 by H plus can be written as negative log of H plus, because this is to the power minus 1. Taking the numerator as minus 1 in the numerator. So minus 1 log H plus, if you do, this is what is the final equation is E of half H2H plus minus 0.0591 pH. So if pH is given, you can find the hydrogen electrode potential and vice versa. Suppose if hydrogen electrode potential is given, you can find pH of any solution. Now the same thing, I will apply for. So this is for a single electrode I have written, and I have given the example of hydrogen electrode. Suppose if you club both the electrodes by this equation, so you all know what is the final form of the Nernst equation. So E of cell will be. So substitute those values in both. I will write first for Nernst equation. Sorry, Daniell cell. E of cell will be, look here, E naught of the cell minus 0.0591 by here 2. We got 2 electron lost. N log of, see, QC. What is QC? This is QC. Look here, QC. QC is the reaction quotient. What is QC? Zinc ion concentration into metallic copper concentration, which is unity, divided by metallic zinc concentration in unity, because it is solid. So Cu2 plus concentration. So QC is similar to case equilibrium concept under chemical equilibrium chapter, what you are understanding. So this value if we apply, this QC can be substituted as zinc 2 plus concentration divided by Cu2 plus concentration. So one thing you must be knowing, unless you know the reaction, unless you know the chemical reaction for a cell reaction, you cannot write the Nernst equation because Nernst equation is to calculate EMF of the cell reaction. So this is what will happen for Nernst equation for calculating EMF of Daniell cell. Similarly, any other electrode like this you can couple. Similar equation you can write. For example, one equation I will give you and you write the Nernst equation. I will give you a cell reaction. Can you write the Nernst equation? See, for example, magnesium is coupled with aluminum. Think like this. Al3 plus A. Can you write the Nernst equation to calculate EMF of the cell? So for that you have to first understand what? Cell reaction. So what is a cell reaction? Let's see, here Mg2 plus Al3 plus, it will not balance. So anode reaction, I don't mind in writing the reaction separately. Mg gives Mg2 plus 2 electrons, anodic reaction. Cathode reaction, Al3 plus takes 3 electron and becomes Al. So electrons are not balancing now. So into 3 into 2 if you make, 3 2s are 6, 2 3s are 6. So it will be and add separately left hand side and right hand side. What should happen? 3Mg plus 2Al3 plus. Electron on left side and right side got cancelled. So right side what will happen? 3Mg2 plus 2Al. So you substitute the value of Qc here in this equation. This is solid unity. This is solid unity. Can you write the Nernst equation here? E of cell equal to E naught of the cell minus 0.059 by 6. What is then here? 6 electron loss. How do you know 6 electron loss? Aluminum is 3 plus 2. Or here, magnesium is 2 plus. For each magnesium, 2 electrons are lost. 3 magnesium, 3 moles are there. Means how many? 6 moles. Log of. Right side, Mg2 plus number of moles are just powers. Mg2 plus Q. Aluminum is solid. Divided by Al3 plus square. Yes or no? This is the way you have to write the Nernst equation. So in the problems they will give you the molar concentration of the ions. Standard electrode potential also they will give so that you can estimate the EMF of the cell. So these are all anything about the Nernst equation to calculate EMF of the cell. And if one of the electrode is hydrogen electron, standard hydrogen electron, E naught of half H2 H plus is 0. This must be knowing they will not give the electrode potential. Then other one you have to calculate. Suppose if E of cell is given, other electrode potential is calculated. If other electrode potential is calculated, given hydrogen electrode is used, standard hydrogen electrode is used, E of cell is also easily calculated. Okay. So this is all about one part, that is on the galvanic cell and its related problems on calculation of EMF. Now look here, one important point let us estimate. When E of cell will be 0, see, EMF of the cell can be 0 by 2 ways. 1. Suppose if the battery continuously works, and one day what will happen is the net reaction stops, then EMF of the cell will be 0. What is another way EMF of the cell can be 0? Now start charging the battery. Suppose we say Daniell cell, E of cell is 1.1 volt, E naught of cell is 1.1 volt. Now by using the adapter, start charging the battery such that adapter through which you are applying a DC voltage is also 1.1 volt. Understand? You are charging Daniel cell whose potential is 1.1 volt by using a charger DC voltage with 1.1 volt. So during charging, what should happen? The reaction should have been reversed. For that, what should have been done? Charging EMF should be more than the battery EMF. But now it is equal, no? Then what will happen? Equilibrium. Neither battery is working nor the battery is charging. So in such case, what will happen is E of cell will be 0. And if E of cell is 0, what will happen? Here is the equation. Once again, I take the help of QC here. Once again, I take the help of this equation. Note what will happen. For Daniel cell, I calculate QC. So when E of cell is 0, what should happen? 0 equal to E naught of the cell minus 0.0591 by 2 log of. Now, it is equilibrium. QC is KC. Am I right? Yes. Suppose if you rearrange the equation, what will happen? E naught of the cell is equal to 0.0591 by n log of KC. So you can estimate the relation between equilibrium constant with the E naught of the cell. Standard EMF of the cell is equated with the equilibrium constant also. Equilibrium constant is constant, it depends on temperature. So this is another equation to calculate the problems. So one equation is Nernst equation. Another equation is equilibrium constant is related to standard EMF of the cell by this equation. For that also, once again, you have to be given cell reaction, because until that you will not be knowing what is the value of n. One more equation under the galvanic cell is standard free energy change, delta G. See, there are equations in the chemical equilibrium. One equation is delta G naught equal to minus 2.303 RT log Kc. This is an equation where it is related to equilibrium constant. Another equation is E naught of the cell is equal to 0.0591. Wait, I will work out this also. Delta G naught, E naught of the cell is equal to, you work out this. Final, what is it actually? 2.303 RT by NF actually. When you summarize, substitute the values, it is becoming 0.059. 2.303 RT by NF. N value is 0.059. Then you can write here log of, once again, E naught of the cell, Kc to the base value. So here also log Kc, here also log Kc. Yes or no? Take log Kc for this delta G naught by minus 2.303 RT. NF into E naught of the cell divided by. If you equate these two, you will get an equation. Yes, delta no calculate delta G naught by minus 2.303 RT equal to log Kc. One equation. Here NF E naught divided by 2.303 RT equal to log Kc. Correct? So both are log Kc. What will happen? Minus delta G naught divided by 2.303 RT equal to NF E naught divided by 2.303 RT. 2.360 cancel. So finally, very very important, delta G naught equal to minus NF E naught. So this is also one of the very very important equation to understand. That means standard free energy change for the cell reaction can be calculated if you know E naught of the cell. F is Faraday's constant. It is 96,487 coulombs, or it is approximated to 96,500. 96,500 coulombs. Now, only one thing based on this is, see, suppose, you see, delta G naught is an extensive property which depends on quantity of matter, but E naught of the cell is intensive property. It is not depending on, I am telling like this, zinc plus Cu2 plus giving Cu plus Zn2 plus 2Zn plus 2Cu2 plus giving 2Cu plus 2Zn2 plus. E naught of the cell is same, but delta G naught is different. So it is stoichiometry dependent, delta G naught. So that is why, suppose if a reaction is given like this, say for example, Cu2 plus Cu1 plus Cu1 plus 2 Cu2 plus. These are three different electrodes. How to equate one with another? How to equate one with another? Cu2 plus 2 electron Cu, see, E naught. E naught you can write, E naught electron potential. Then Cu1 plus takes one more electron and becomes Cu. Cu1 plus Cu2 plus takes one electron and becomes C. E naught for all these three are possible, right? They are different reactions. Now you cannot add them. You cannot add the E naught values. Then what to do? For each one you have to take delta G naught equal to minus NF E1 naught, delta G naught equal to G1 naught, delta G2 naught equal to minus NF E2 naught, E2 naught, delta G naught equal to minus NF E3 naught. Separately you have read, and this part can be added. This part can be added. What is that? This is say delta G, delta G1, delta G2. Delta G, say G1, G2, if you do. So delta G, 2 electron, no? 1 electron plus 1 electron. Add this, you will get it, no? See, whatever they ask from these three, you can rearrange it and you can do it. But remember, my conclusion is this. Suppose if E naught is asked, you cannot add or subtract. You have to go for what? These values. This you can add or subtract on anything. Simultaneously on the right side, they have to be added. They have to be added along with NF E naught, NF E naught, NF E naught. So I think I can discuss this under the problems. Under problems I will show you. So here Cu2 plus becoming Cu is in two ways. Cu1 1 plus Cu2 plus 2 electron becomes Cu1 plus. Here I have written Cu2 plus 1 electron becomes Cu1 plus. Cu1 plus one more electron becomes a C. So these two steps if you add, what you are going to get? You are going to get this one, no? But I am telling you, you cannot add these two to become equal to this. So what to do is, you can add delta G naught. This is all about what? The galvanic. Now let us discuss something about electrolytic cells, where you are learning conductivity aspects. Conductivity, molar conductivity, and even sometimes equivalent conductivity also. Equivalent conductivity. Small lambda, lambda. This is equivalent. See, I don't have to discuss in details. So there is an equation in terms of the cell constant and resistance of the conductivity cell. There are different types of conductivity cells. Diagrams are there in the textbook, where you have to fill the electrolyte whose conductivity you have to measure according to this equation. What is that? G star is equal to R into K. So hope you are remembering. G star is what? Cell constant. What is cell constant? Length of the cell divided by area of cross section. So it's innate in SI per meter always. And it is a constant for any one particular cell. G star cell constant is constant. This will not change. How this cell constant is determined? By the help of meter bridge experiment. Resistance of the cell will be noted, and by taking a solution of known conductivity, K is noted. So when resistance is known, conductivity is known, you can find the cell constant. Once the cell constant you have found, that becomes a permanent value to determine the conductivity of any other solution. Vacate this solution, fill the other solution. This is how conductivity of unknown solutions are measured. So out of these three, cell constant, resistance and conductivity. So any two are given, other one can be estimated. So problems on this you have to calculate. Then how that is related to molar conductivity? SI units it is related like this. Lambda m is K into V, where V is volume of the solution. But in the molar concentration when you express, what will happen is lambda m is equal to 1000 K divided by C. See here very important. K is in S Cm minus 1. Here K is in Sm minus 1. Siemens per meter. In the SI unit, conductivity is Siemens per meter. What is conductivity? Unit length and unit area cross section you have to have. Then the conductance is conductivity. Suppose if this is in the CGS unit SCm minus 1 and molar concentration is always, it should not change, mole per decimeter cube or mole per liter or what? Mole per liter. This should not change. Then the value becomes this in the problem, 1000 K divided by C. Suppose another formula is right. K divided by 1000 C, where no K will be in SI, Sm minus 1, and concentration is in what? Mole per liter on unit. Suppose if this is in the SI unit, when you change the concentration to mole per decimeter cube, this is the formula supposed to be used to calculate. So these are all mathematical understandings when you are converting one unit into another unit. So this is the formula when conductivity conductivity is in Siemens per centimeter, and this is the formula when conductivity is in Siemens per meter, and in both the formulas concentration is always in mole per liter. Suppose if you convert concentration also into what? SI, right? Then no 1000 resistance becomes K by C. Lambda is K by C. This is also mole per meter cube. So such meter cube is a very big unit. Concentration will be always in mole per liter. Okay. See here, for strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes, measurement of conductivity and measurement of molar conductivity, graphs and all are there, which we will see in the problems. So only one equation, that is one Debye-Huckel-Wonsager equation. Debye-Huckel-Wonsager equation is this: lambda m is for any electrolyte molar conductivity, lambda not m, that is its molar conductivity at infinite dilution. During dilution, for weak electrolyte, ionization increases and intra-ionic attraction becomes weak. For strong electrolyte, ionization has been completed, but intra-ionic attraction is becoming weak. So for both strong and weak electrolyte, lambda not m is always more than lambda. So minus A into C to the power half is the equation. A depends on nature of the electrolyte. This is y equal to ms plus C type. A is slow, it is this, and the nature of the graph is this graph, correct? Pointing downward, negative slope. For example, KCl, this is the graph. What to write here? Lambda m. What to write here? Root C. C to the power half is root C. And yes, for different electrolyte you can calculate. But if it is weak electrolyte, it will not be a straight line because ionization is continuous. For example, acetic acid. And near the infinite dilution, it is exceeding acid. That's what you see in the textbook. So A depends on, for example, instead of KCl, if I take CaCl2, the nature is like this. Slope increases. So charge of the cation at anion is going to be counted. Okay, the slope depends on nature of the electrolyte. That also can be a question. See, from this equation you can easily calculate it for strong electrolytes. If you produce it to zero line, what do you get? This is lambda not m. Limiting molar conductivity. Lambda not m is what? Limiting molar conductivity. How it is calculated? By producing the graph of zero concentration. But weak electrolyte, what to do? For weak electrolyte, you cannot produce the graph now. Then what comes? Kohlraas law of independent migration of ions. What is Kohlraas law? This is Kohlraas law. Lambda naught of NaCl is lambda naught of Na plus lambda naught of Cl. This is Kohlraas law. Limiting molar conductivity of an electrolyte at infinite dilution is equal to sum of individual contribution of cation and anion. This is only possible in the infinite dilution. Otherwise, lambda naught of NaCl is not equal to lambda naught of Na plus lambda naught of Cl minus. Only at infinite dilution. What about lambda naught of MgCl2? Lambda naught of Mg2 plus 2 times lambda naught of Cl minus. This is the way you can calculate. This is not having much importance for what? Strong electrolyte. It is having so much importance for weak electrolyte. For example, acetic acid, which is lambda naught acetate ion plus lambda naught H plus ion. This is practically not possible. because acetic acid never ionizes completely. Then what should be done? This has to be expressed in terms of strong electrolyte. So for example, if I express it in this way, lambda naught of sodium acetate. Now you see, Na plus is extra. It is a strong electrolyte. Plus lambda naught of HCl. Now you see, Cl minus is extra. H plus is what? Minus lambda naught of NaCl if you do. So all are strong electrolytes. So you can calculate even by the graph also, because they are giving straight lines. So that acetic acid or any other weak electrolyte can be expressed in terms of strong electrolytes, and limiting molar conductivity can be calculated. And this is the importance of what? Wohlrab's law. Similarly, I will give you one more. Can you write limiting molar conductivity of water? H plus OH minus lambda naught of H plus lambda naught of OH minus. So this will not ionize completely. Then you can write HCl. Correct? Cl is extra. NaOH. NaOH. Na plus is extra. So Cl is minus lambda naught NaCl. So you can write for any weak electrolyte in terms of properties. Okay, here one more thing is that even for weak electrolyte, degree of dissociation you can calculate. Degree of dissociation of alpha. Alpha is lambda m divided by lambda naught m. For example, molar conductivity of HCl, acetic acid, divided by limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid. If you do, this is going to give you what? Degree of dissociation alpha. And once you know this degree of dissociation, how do you calculate dissociation constant? How do you calculate dissociation constant? K. There is a formula, no? Which has been estimated in the first year piece. Equilibrium. Alpha square C. Alpha is here. We are doing 1 minus alpha. This is the formula. By using this formula, even dissociation constant can be estimated. So this is also there in your textbook. So for entrance examination, this is also one of the probable questions. What they give? They give in percentage. Alpha they give in percentage. So that if alpha is given, out of this value 1 is given, you can also estimate the other one. Or if these things are given, first you have to find alpha, then you have to find K. So such problems also are probable. Then you see, as far as CET is considered, Faraday's law problems are details are not included. Faraday's law of electrolysis. I spent 5 minutes on it because it is one of the important part for at least NEET. And some of the cells are 4 to 5 cells are anodic reaction and cathodic reaction. You have to write. The reverse also you have to write. That is for during charging. You first understand the cell reaction. Then what is the reaction? That is during discharge of the cell. Then what is the reaction during charging? Opposite. Anode becomes cathode and cathode becomes anode. During charging what will happen? Whatever reaction is there, it has to be reversed now. For example, earlier anode was undergoing oxidation. During charging it should undergo reduction. If it undergo reduction, what should it be? It should be cathode. So once again I repeat, anode always undergoes oxidation. Cathode always undergoes reduction, whether it is charging or discharging. During charging, a galvanic cell is an electrolytic cell. During discharging, that means when the cell is working, mobile. When the mobile is working, it is a galvanic cell. Battery in the mobile. When the mobile is put for charging, what will happen? It is an electrolytic cell. Faraday's law. Faraday's first law of electrolysis. See, the quantity of the substance deposited at the electrodes, cathode or anode, is directly proportional to the amount of electric charges that are flowing in coulombs. So that means if we want to say W is directly proportional to Q. Q is electric charges in coulombs. Or you can also write by the knowledge of current electricity, you can write I into T is it not? Current in ampere into time in seconds. Then you know I into T. Or you can say W Z I into T. Z can be W, 1 coulomb, 1 ampere flows for 1 second. What is the unit? Tell me, unit gram. Z unit gram per coulomb. Z into Q, no? Z into I into T is also same as Z into T per coulomb. Gram per coulomb. So that is what? Z, electrochemical equivalence constant. Now, you see, the Faraday's first law is equated with the mass of the substances with this formula. 1 Faraday is a very big unit of charge, is always corresponding to 1 mole of electron flow. Remember, 1 mole of electrons. Try to understand. 1 mole of electron, Avogadro number of electrons. Now, what is the charge of 1 electron? First year PhD, one electron. 1.602 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulombs. This is 1 electron charge. Now, 1 mole only is electrons. How many electrons are there in 1 mole? Then what is the value of Faraday? 1.602 into 10 raised to minus 19 into Avogadro number. 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. It multiplied by that 96,487 approximated to 96,500 coulombs. This is Faraday. And the Faraday, what is Faraday? Faraday corresponds to 1 mole of electron flow. 1 mole of electron flow is very smart. Na plus plus 1 electron Na. 1 molar mass 1 mole of electron flow. Mg2 plus hai. Not Mg2 plus. Mg 24 gram 2 mole of electron flow. Aluminium Al3 plus 3 electron Al 27 gram molar mass 3 mole of electron flow 1 Faraday na 3 Faraday yes Faraday do 3 Faraday 2 Faraday here 1 Faraday adu gas converted hydrogen and all adalla calculate kodbeku hydrogen H plus 1 electron half H2 you 22,400 divided by 2 now 11,200 at STP because half H2 1 H2 is 20,400 cubic centimeters at STP. Then what will happen? It becomes how much? It becomes 1 Faraday corresponds to how much? 11,200 cubic centimeters at STP. Silver, for example, Ag plus 1 electron Ag, atomic mass 108 gram corresponds to, of course, 1 Faraday. It corresponds to 1 Faraday. So this calculation you have to relate it to stoichiometry. So this is Faraday's first law calculations. They will give you some mass and you have to calculate its Faraday and Faraday into I into T. Time is given, I is given, you can find Q. If mass is given, I is given, you can find time. Problems you have to work out. For example, one simple question I will ask you. One equation I will write. Cr2O72 minus plus 6Fe2 plus giving 2Cr3 plus 6Fe3 plus. So here plus 6 into 2 plus 3 into 2. How many electron flow? 3 into 2. 6 electron flow. 6 electron gain. 6Fe2 plus becoming 6Fe3 plus 6 into 1 equal to 6 electron loss. Okay. For one, please note a question now. 1 mole of potassium dichromate. 1 mole of potassium dichromate. If it has to react, how many moles of electricity? How much Faraday should flow? Answer, 6 Faraday. Because 6 mole of electron should flow. Oxidation number knowledge. How many of you are understanding and chemistry cannot be automatically learned. There is a lengthy background behind learning of chemistry, starting from first year basic, stoichiometry, redox. These two are very, very important part to understand chemistry. Faraday's second law is also there, where same amount of electricity is related, right? Same amount of electricity. You are connecting circuits in series. Same amount of electricity is flowing. Then there is a formula. What is that? Mass of say A divided by its equivalent mass equal to mass of B. Actually, in opposite. Mass of A is proportional to equivalent mass of A. Mass of B proportional to equivalent mass of B. But you can cross multiply because both are going to constant. So generally we can write in this fashion: mass of copper, A, B, C, bit below, equivalent mass of copper equal to mass of silver divided by equivalent mass of silver equal to volume of hydrogen. Volume at STP divided by 11,200. So these are all what the equations by which if any out of these four, any three are given, other one can be calculated. So some of the problems of Faraday's law also we work out in order to give just these two NEET and JEE exams also. So this is all about the synopsis part. So in the next class I continue with questions.